right, now we're going to try that again. Now that everyone's paying attention. Good morning. Good morning. That's what I'm talking about. It's so great to see every single one of you here that has joined us for our meeting today. I'm grateful for the opportunity to lead it this morning and share with you some things that I think are really, really important for us to all be considering right now. Can you all hear me okay? All right, perfect. Thank you for pivoting and joining us over in this space. I would have kept our meeting over on the other side, and we would have all felt what the Florida heat was like indoors because the AC was not working in our training room. So thank you for pivoting with us this morning. Let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with our belief system. I understand that it may not be as easy for you to see because the screen's not as big. Yet do it from the best of your memory. I'll say the first part, you say the second part. Win-win. Integrity. Customer. Commitment. Communication. Creativity. Teamwork. Trust. Equity. And success. There we go. Who's willing to read our mission statement? Yeah, go ahead.
To build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving.
Great job. All right, and our vision. Yeah, Paige.
To be the real estate company of choice for agents and their customers.
And our perspective. Lee, I'm going to let you take this one because it's a little bit small.
We are a technology company that provides a real estate platform that our agents, buyers, and sellers prefer. Keller Williams thinks like a top producer, acts like a trainer consultant, and focuses all of its activities on service, productivity, and most importantly, your profitability.
I think he thought I was going to hit it. If you had it wrong, I would have hit it. So, no, I'm kidding. And now, please join me in welcoming our sponsor. I believe she's in the back somewhere. She was our sponsor in Coral Springs last week. Her name's Road. Road, are you out there? Hey, you know what? Hopefully she didn't hit the road. There's my dad joke for the day. She's not in here? Okay, well, we'll get back to Road at the toward the end of the meeting then. Amazing individual and has done some great things for some people. So here's what I'm going to do today. Here's how we're going to start our meeting. I want you to make someone's day. And here's the way that we're going to do that. Every single one of you is going to pick up your phone right now. And you're going to make a phone call to somebody. I'm going to give you 5 minutes. Don't leave the room. I want the energy to stay up. I actually want you to stand on your feet when you make this call as well. And I just want you to call somebody and give them gratitude. Tell them how grateful you are for them. Tell them how they've impacted your life. It could be a past client. It could be somebody you're working with right now, thanking them for the opportunity to work with them. I personally believe we don't give enough gratitude in this world. And this morning I want to start our meeting off with what I consider and what many consider the highest form of energy, which is gratitude. So pick up your phone right now. You have 5 minutes, make a care call, make a gratitude call to somebody in your database. It could be your mom if you want it to be. 5 minutes starts now.
Grateful that you're my friend.
All right, give yourselves a hand. All right, what did you hear? Yeah.
So I gave them gratitude, and they gave me a better gratitude.
All right, you gave them gratitude, they give you better gratitude. All right?
Yeah, so you
Perfect.
share it, and then they share it. It makes both.
It makes both of you feel great. Yes, absolutely. What else? Can I share with you something that happened in Coral Springs last week that I thought was hilarious?
Yes.
When we did this, one of the people on the other side of the phone said to the agent who had just called them, "Are you drinking?" And I think that's a good lesson, though, because it goes to show us we don't make these calls nearly enough. And some of the things that we hear on the other side of them when we do make those calls is, "Are you okay? Is it wine o'clock?" Things like that. So I did that this morning to show you, number one, people do want to hear from you. And it feels really good, especially when you start off from a gratitude position. And Christine, you hit the nail on the head. Oftentimes when we give somebody gratitude, it makes us feel even better because they will likely say something that they're grateful for with us. Now, don't get me wrong, that's not the reason we pick up the phone and call all these people. Yet, you're going to hear things that they appreciate you for as well. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and willing to make that call with us. And now talk about income. And I sent you all a message last night that said, if you need to make money in the next 90 days, you need to be at our team meeting today. And I want you to know I'm very serious about that. So here's what I want you to do right now. Pull out your phone or pull out a piece of paper, whatever it is you're going to take notes with. And I want you to get really, really serious and be really honest with yourself in the notes section of your phone or on a piece of paper about the activities that you are actually doing right now in your business to generate income. So take just 2 minutes and think long and hard and be really honest with yourself about the actual activities you are doing in your business right now. And Steve, while they're doing that, if you will pass out those papers, there's 2 of them. Everyone needs one of each of those papers. And Jim, do you mind helping him with that? Just take 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. 20 seconds. Finish it up. All right, perfect. Now, everyone pay attention up here. I don't want you to look at what you just wrote down. I don't want you to think about what you just wrote down. We're going to get back to that in just a few minutes. Here's what I want us to take away. In all business, especially in real estate, there are 3 categories that we can get our business from. Aggressive activities, passive-aggressive activities, and passive activities. So let's talk about what those are. So aggressive is something that is going to give you business in the next 0 to 90 days. And when I say give you business, I'm talking about it's going to make you money in the next 0 to 90 days. Passive-aggressive is going to make you money in the next 90 days to 6 months. And then we've got this final category down here, passive. And that's going to make you money in the next 6 months to 2 years. So if we were to break this down into aggressive activities, what are aggressive activities right now that every single one of you can be doing to generate income in the next 90 days? What are some of those aggressive activities? What was that? Door knock. I'm going to say door knocking is more passive aggressive. What's that?
For sale by owners.
For sale by owners. Great one.
Expires.
Expires. What else?
Calling your
Sphere, actually, believe it or not, your sphere is in all three of these categories. Why? Because if you're calling your sphere every quarter like you should be, that means you're hitting them every 90 days approximately, so that you're generating opportunities from your sphere every 90 days. So we're going to put SOI, SOI, and SOI. Okay? What else? For aggressive. We'll get to passive aggressive and passive in just a minute. Nadine?
More specific for SOI, which is if you're looking at Facebook for your sphere and you're calling them for specific reasons, like you see someone got divorced, someone's getting married, someone's having kids. Those
Distressed sellers.
Yeah.
Distressed sellers, exactly. What are the D's of real estate? Death, divorce, the job. What's that? Diapers, yes. What's the other one? Diamonds, there we go. Exactly. Death, divorce, diamonds, diapers, and a job. I think there's a sixth one there. Oh yeah, people dying too, death. So those are considered distressed sellers. You can target specifically people in those categories. Now, we're missing one other thing from your 0 to 90 days for what I would consider aggressive. Here's what that is. People in your pipeline who have already raised their hand that you need to follow up with. So your pipeline and follow-up. Okay, let's go to passive. What are some of those passive activities? We've already said door knocking, sphere of influence.
home anniversary texts and calls.
I'm going to put that under your 6 months to 2 years, so it's going to be more passive.
Okay.
What are those things you could do on the weekends?
Open houses.
Good one. Open house. All right, what else? You go to the county courthouse once or twice a month. Yeah, well, you don't even have to go to the county courthouse. You can look at it online, but you can figure out who has tax liens. Those are people that you could be reaching out to for tax liens. All right, what is that thing that people that have tractors do? They farm, right? Yeah, farming. Okay, that's a good one. What's that? All right, and then if somebody's way behind on their payments, their house could go into what? Foreclosure, yes. Now, I'm not saying bank on the foreclosure one. Our foreclosure rate is so low that while the news media is out there saying, oh my gosh, foreclosures are up from last year, they're talking about in some places them going from a number of like 2 to 3 and saying, oh my God, it's a 33% increase. Yeah, you're right. It went up, or 50% increase, whatever that number is. Sorry, I only do 3% math. So don't just bank on the foreclosure side of things. All right, and then are there any other things that you can think of that would be passive aggressive that might revolve around a shape? Circle prospecting, good job. Now you might say, Scott, why didn't you put circle prospecting in the aggressive one? you could make an argument that it could also be the aggressive one, yet you would have to be extremely intentional with the people that you are calling. So I put it in the passive aggressive one because on average, one of the greatest scripts that I used to use when I was circle prospecting, I would circle prospect around any listing that had just been put in a neighborhood, whether it was a KW listing or not. As soon as that listing came up, I'd call through the circle prospecting list and I'd say, hey, Nadine, it's Scott over at Keller Williams. How you doing today?
I'm great.
Good, I'm glad to hear it, Nadine. I won't take much of your time. I don't know if you noticed it, but 123 Main Street just went on the market, and typically within 90 days, one of the neighbors in your area is going to end up selling, and I was just calling to find out if that might be you.
Now I'm going out of here in a box.
You're going out here in a box? All right, do you know anyone else that might go out in moving boxes?
Well, I'd like my neighbors to move.
You'd like your neighbors to move. Hey, what's their information? Is it okay if I give them a call? I won't use your name.
Yeah, don't use my name.
Yeah.
I'm happy you can call them all day.
Great, perfect. I plan on calling them later this afternoon. Is there a reason you don't want them to be your neighbors anymore?
Yeah, they're just loud. They have too many kids anyway. They're
Got it.
screaming all the time.
Yeah, they scream all the time. I totally get it. And if you're going out in the box, I mean, yeah, you're going to be there a while. All right. So it's not a tough conversation to have yet. That's one of those ones that's going to yield you results in 90 days to 6 months, okay? All right, so then let's go to this passive category here. What are other forms of passive activities that you could be doing for your real estate business? Keep in mind, this is, I'm good with 6 months to 2 years. Yeah. Mailers, okay? All right. What else? Yeah. Drip campaigns, okay? What else? Yeah. Events, good one. All right, what else? Bueller?
Billboards.
Billboards, okay.
Buyer and seller seminars.
Buyer seller seminars. I think we could probably put, you could put that one in both categories here. All right, how about one that we're usually on a lot during the day? Social media, right? Anything else?
Swag that you leave around, like promotional things that you leave around.
Okay, so promo swag.
What about newsletters?
Newsletters, we could call that mailers. I mean, that mailers slash drip campaigns.
Email.
I would call that a drip campaign, like your email. Yeah. All right, so now I want all of you to take out your phones or your a piece of paper that you wrote down, the activities that you're currently doing. And I want you to be really honest with me. How many of you are doing the activities in the aggressive category? Okay, 6, all right. How many of you have the majority of your activities in the passive category? Passive aggressive, sorry, the passive aggressive category. Okay, all right, and the last one, how many of you are the majority of your activities in the passive category? And there's no judgment in this. All right, so we've got a good amount in both the second and the last one. Is this eye-opening to realize that many of your activities you're currently doing are not going to yield you immediate results? Yeah, it's pretty eye-opening. So here's where we're going to pivot, and we're going to stop talking about this for a second if I can figure out how to stop sharing my screen now. Does anyone have any idea what the number 2,139 represents? You can't say. Anyone?
Is it contacts?
It's not contacts.
It
Expireds. That is the number of expireds that have gone on the that have gone off the market since May 31st. There have been 2,139 expired listings in Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami-Dade. Does anyone have any idea what percentage of those expireds will likely relist?
It is 75%.
What'd you say?
It is 75%.
75% is right. About 75% of all expireds will relist their property. They may relist it immediately. They may relist it in 3 months. They may relist it in a year, yet the majority of them will relist their property. 75% of them will relist their property within a 1-year period of time. Which means, of that 2,139, 1,604 of those people are still raising their hand in some way, shape, or form saying, I need help. The question is, who's going to help them? And here's what I want you to realize about that opportunity. 1,604 of those people relisting equates to, I just averaged it out between Miami-Dade, Palm Beach, and Broward County and said the average price across all 3 of those counties is $450,000. The reality is it's closer to $500,000, yet I wanted to go low for the sake of the math that I'm going to give you this morning. That's $721,800,000 in volume that is sitting out there waiting for someone to list it. Now let's go further, because I want to make a really big point here. That's $18,045,000 in commission, assuming everyone took that listing at 2.5 tomatoes.
Or less.
Right?
Or more.
Or less, or more. But let's just say that everyone on that day really liked tomatoes and they wanted 2.5 of them. Okay? Now, let's go even further. That means that every single one of those addresses, going back to the 2,139, is worth $8,436.18 in commission to you. Now, we know that most agents choose not to call an expired at all, let alone choose not to call an expired more than one time. The reality is, if you chose to follow up with an expired at least 7 times, you're 80% more likely to get that listing. Most agents will call day 1 when that listing comes on the or when that listing comes off the market, and they'll say, "Hey, Elka, it sucks that your listing expired. I want to relist it." Well, Elka's pissed off because you just called her at 7 o'clock in the morning, and she's like, "You know what, buddy? I got somewhere where you can put this listing. I'm not interested." That's Elka that morning. There are other people that are going to be on the phone that morning and say, "Oh my God, I am so glad you called. I had the knucklehead of an agent for the last 6 months and I really need to sell my house. Please help me." But the reality is you're going to have to follow up with them more than once, right, Evan?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Which means that every single time, I want you to write this number down. Please, please, please write this number down. Every single time you pick up the phone and call an expired, that phone call is worth $1,205.17 that you are potentially adding to your income. Every single time you pick up the phone for the follow-up with each one of those people, you are potentially adding $1,205.17 to your income. How much?
$1,205.17.
There you go. Is that worth picking up the phone for?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me ask you that again. I want to hear a little more enthusiasm with it. Is that worth picking up the phone for?
Yes.
That's what I thought. All right, so
They can hang up on me if you need.
guess what? Your mom can hang up on me.
That's true.
Big deal. Here's the thing. We're in a market right now that, as the book Shift talks about on page number 14, it is survive to thrive. You are in a survival market whether you like it or not. Here's the great thing though. If you choose to do the hard stuff now, if you choose to be uncomfortable right now, if you choose to put in the work that most other agents aren't going to choose to do, you will thrive on the other side of it. Right, Nadine? You've seen people do it before. How many of you guys have been in the business for more than 15 years? Yeah. Have you seen people thrive on the other side of a market shift? That's the magic happens during the tough times that allow people to have great businesses on the other side of it. Did you know that over 70% of all Fortune 500 companies were founded in a down market? Why? Because those people looked at the opportunity of the down market, not the obstacles of a down market. Our market is tough, and I'm going to give you something right now that will help you get through it. How many of you have taken Bold before? Great. Well, we're going to do something together right now. We're going to stand up and we're going to practice an expired script together. And then we're going to go one step further and we're going to talk about something else, because some of you, even after this, may say, but Scott, I'm scared. And that's okay. We'll talk about that too. So go ahead and stand up. And we're going to do this expired script together, just like we were all in a Bold room. So we're going to say the first part, and then we're going to, after we say that first paragraph, we're going to pause and we'll go to the next one. All right, so ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello, thank you for taking my call. This is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. Your house has shown up on the multiple listing service as an expired listing. Since I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time, I was wondering when we could get together for 15 minutes so I can show you how I get houses sold. That's not hard, right? Okay, now let's go to the next option. This is giving you two different options here. Hello, thank you for taking my call. This is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. I'm certain that by now your house has shown up as an expired listing on our multiple listing service. And undoubtedly, I'm calling to see when you plan to hire the right agent for the job to sell your house. Not hard, right? Now they might come up with some objections. Let's go into objection number 1. I'm going to stay with the same agent. We're going to give you two options for that. That's great. And what I'm hearing is you feel obligated to past agents since they've invested a lot of time and money in your house, right? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you don't owe me anything, and you don't really owe them anything. But you do owe yourself the very best. It certainly wouldn't hurt to hear what I do to get houses sold, would it? All right, that's a little more less direct way. We're going to go and say, we're going to be pretty direct with these people now. I understand. And let me ask you a quick question. If you stay with the same agent, what are they going to do this time that they didn't do last time? I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I actually heard it from one of my clients. Albert Einstein said that doing the same thing and expecting different results is the definition of insanity. Right? Kind of direct, kind of funny. Say it with a little bit of a laugh in your voice when you're saying it. Script number 2. Hey, you know what? I'm going to try to sell it myself. After what you've been through, I understand. You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you are generally better off to sell it yourself than to be with an agent who doesn't understand the market. Or, I can appreciate that. And what I sense is you want to make sure you get the best possible agent for the job of selling your house. What are you looking for in an agent? Don't say bold. My bad. I didn't hit the paragraph button. All right, script 3. I'm taking it off the market. We've decided to stay. I see. Just out of curiosity, if you did sell, where were you moving to? Wow. Why was that important? What would that do for you and your family if you had moved? If I could show you a way to make that happen, would you be interested? You see, I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time. Even the best houses don't sell the first time. And it just takes a new approach and new ideas like I use to get houses sold. When can I come by and spend 15 minutes with you and show you why so many homeowners choose me to sell their house. Or, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if a contract were presented to you tomorrow, would you still sell? Great. So there is some desire to move, right? You know, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I specialize in houses that are great, yet didn't sell the first time for various reasons. Let me ask you, why don't you think your house sold? What will you look for in the next agent you choose? Let's do this. I'll drop by and look at your house. That way you meet me. So at a weak moment, you don't end up with a weak agent. After all, you don't want to put it back on the market later to have it sit for another 8 months, do you? Don't say size months, put a number of months in there. Otherwise, they will really laugh and definitely not choose you. All right, let's go to the next part. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if I could sell your house in the next 30 days and net you what you need, would that pose a problem for you? That's exactly why we need to set an appointment. All right, the fourth one. I've already found another agent. Have you signed a contract already? Great. I would like to apply for the job to sell your house. After all, I specialize in houses that didn't sell the first time. You know, sometimes even the best houses don't sell the first time around. I understand. What I'm sensing is you want to make sure you're doing the right thing, correct? Excellent. You know, if you had to go to a doctor because you had an illness and you found out it involved surgery, would you want another opinion? I know this isn't surgery, and yet it is financial surgery on your house. Let's meet for about 20 minutes, and you will see why so many people decide to hire me over other agents. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, if you actually felt you could get more money and a quicker sell, would you interview me? When can we get together? At 3 p.m. or would 4 p.m. be better? Not hard, right? Okay, now let's go to the other one. Because I want you to remember this. None of you ever have an excuse again to say, I don't have a script, or I don't know what to say. This one right here was created by ChatGPT. And here's the prompt that I put in. I said, I'm calling expireds for the first time. I'm nervous about it. Give me a simple script that I can use to call and connect with these people. And here's the script that it gave me. We're going to go through this, the very first part together. For your realty company, say Keller Williams Realty. If you're planning on going somewhere else, come talk to me. We'll change that. Hi, this is Scott with Keller Williams Realty. I'm calling because I noticed your property at 123 Main was recently on the market but didn't sell. How are you today? All right. The how are you today comes with a caveat. If you're calling them and it's the day after their house has just come off the market, do not ask them how they are today. They're not having a good day. If you're calling them and their home expired 3 months ago, which by the way, don't be afraid to call people whose homes expired 3 months ago. They can be some of the greatest people to call. Why? Because other agents have given up on them. Other agents didn't get the easy close and they gave up on them. They didn't do the follow-up. By the way, 80% of all of your business comes from follow-up. If you're choosing not to follow up, you're only having 20% of what you could have. All right, let's go to the, oh my gosh, ChatGPT said we need to be empathetic and understanding. I'm sure that must have been frustrating for you. Selling a home can be a challenging experience, and it's disappointing when it doesn't go as planned. Is that hard? No, easy, right? Now, oh my goodness, it says we need to build rapport. It's like this robot knows something about being a human. Do you mind if I ask you what your experience was like with the previous listing? Were there any particular challenges or reasons you think it didn't sell? Now, when it says previous listing, I forgot to add in there listing agent. You don't have to add a listing agent. You could just say previous listing. If you want to be more specific, you could say agent there. Offering solutions. I specialize in helping homeowners in situations just like yours. I'd love to offer you a complimentary market analysis and some strategies to get your home sold quickly and for the best price. Even if you're not looking to relist immediately, this information could be very helpful for you. All right, but Scott, I want business right now. That's okay. If you're worried about how you come across when you're having conversations with these people, if you don't want to come across as pushy, that's a perfect line to take some of the pressure back off of them and give them a second to just go and say, oh, okay, all right, I'll have a conversation with you. That line right there, this information could be very helpful for you. Remember, a lot of these people you should follow up with, and most agents won't. All right, next one, setting the appointment. If you're open to it, I'd be happy to meet with you for a quick, no obligation consultation. Would today at 3 p.m. work for you? And then finally, the closing. Thank you for your time, and I hope we can find a way to get your home sold. Have a great day. Now, I don't like the word hope in this case. Thank you for your time, and I know we can find a way to get your home sold. Or, if you want to be even more intentional, thank you for your time, and I know we will find a way to get your home sold. All right, go ahead and have a seat. Takeaways? What? No. Takeaways. What'd you take away from that?
Well, you make it sound so easy.
Harvey, I've been doing this for 14 years. It wasn't easy when I first started. I sounded like a robot. And I practiced a lot. That line in there where if you had to go, if a doctor told you just had surgery, would you want a second opinion? Would you want to go to the doctor who comes to you and says, Harvey, look, I think you need surgery. I think this is what is wrong. And I think I might be able to fix it, but I'm going to have to cut you open to figure that out. Is that okay?
No.
Yeah, you wouldn't want that doctor. Nobody would. Yet, that's the way that a lot of real estate agents practice, is they practice on the people. Great doctors practice on cadavers before they ever get to people. I want you to practice on the cadaver before you go out and have the actual conversation. Now, don't take this the wrong way. You are all cadavers to each other. Practice with one another before you go out and have these conversations. And then, even if you think you're not ready, make the freaking call anyways. Because the only way you are going to get better is if you just do it. If you're doing the whole, I've got to get perfect before I can go and make this happen, guess what? Perfect is never going to happen for you. It's about progress and not perfection. You have to get a little bit better every single day, and you will get better over time. What other takeaways did you have? Thank you, Harvey. Yeah.
7 times thing that you have to do it. So what do you suggest? Like once a week, once every 2 weeks, like how to make it, you know?
Yeah, I think it's 3 times a week. And it says 7 times. I'm saying 7 times at minimum. I think it's 3 times a week for 3 weeks. So you're really going to do it 9 times. And one of those is going to be a text message each week. One of them is going to be a phone call each week. And one of them is going to be an email each week. And in that email, you're going to be dropping something on them with like, hey, here's something that you may not consider that you should consider doing to get your home ready to actually be sold this time. It could be a seller's disclosure that you're sending to them if it's a for sale by owner that you're going to go and market to. The other thing that's beautiful about this is because Keller Williams has given ChatGPT a look into how Command actually works, you could go to ChatGPT and say, I'm working with expireds. Create a smart plan for me that will work inside of Keller Williams Command system where I'm contacting people at least 3 times a week for the next 3 weeks. And guess what? It'll create it for you. Then you can get with Miko, and Miko can show you how you can then upload what ChatGPT just created for you into Command so you have a system that is following up with these people. Yet the reality is the system can be as simple as you calling them 7 times too. All right? What other takeaways? Someone else had their hand up. Yeah, Nadine.
I used to do this, and then I got away from it.
What happened?
I started getting business from referral, and it just was coming to me.
Yeah.
And this makes me, like agent, I use script practice. This makes me want to
Yeah, and I'm glad you said that, Nadine. How long have you been in the business?
A long time.
Yeah, you've been in the business a few years.
Yeah.
You've experienced different aspects of this market. And what I'm hearing you say is that even the best agents out there, even the most experienced agents out there, are having to change the way they do things right now so they continue to survive, so they can thrive. Good. All right. One more. Well, two more. Yeah. Yeah. Are there going to be people, Elka, that say, look, stop calling me, I'm not interested? Yeah, there will be. Yet the majority of those people, I believe, we've made that up in our heads that that's what they're going to say when we call them. These people, they raised their hand and said, I want to sell my house for a reason. They got let down. They have a bad taste in their mouth. Go and be the reason that they feel really good again. They want your help. Last one.
So my observation, watching everybody say the script, is everyone had confidence saying the script with everybody else, correct? Everybody felt comfortable. Nobody was really nervous saying the script. What if we just put a call in front of you on the phone while you were practicing? You guys would have had a great chance of all getting an appointment.
Yeah.
So all this is being in the right environment and coming into the office with everybody else and making these calls together daily, and your bank accounts are gonna thank you really quickly if you do it consistently. That's it. I mean, they sounded great. That's all I have to say.
Thank you. And yes, you all sounded great. Give yourselves a hand. And now I gotta let you in on a little secret. That's the way you make more money in the next 90 days. Yet, if I had called everyone last night and sent a text message to everyone last night and said, hey, come in tomorrow morning, we're gonna practice expired scripts together. Be honest, how many of you would have showed up? Evan, Scott, a few of you. Yet, were you a little uncomfortable today with standing up and saying that script? No, not in person with people together. That's why we did it. Because when you get together with others and you say these scripts and you say these things and you're willing to put yourself in a vulnerable position, when you're in a room with other people, it's not nearly as bad. I would love for every single one of you to show up every single day. And I get it, life happens, you can't be here every day. But the more of you that are sitting in this room together every single day, making those calls together, the more money you're going to make, the greater you're going to feel, and the more success everyone in this market is going to realize, and you're going to feed off of the success of one another. Now, if you didn't know, you have access to expireds and for sale by owners for free every single day. All you have to do is go to kwwaxman.com/stats and use the word legacy. Down at the bottom of that page, there's a button that says for sale by owner list, and there's a button that says expired list. It's updated at least twice a week.
And they're scrubbed, right, for DNC?
And they're scrubbed for the do not call list. It says DNC next to it. It's got the date. It's got the information. It's got the owner's first name, last name, all of the different possible phone numbers that it can find for them. And then next to each one, if each of those phone numbers is on the do not call list. For the love of God, if it says DNC, do not call it. And there's no such thing as a do not knock list. Go knock on the door. Yeah. You can knock or mail them. You just can't call them. Go knock on the door. Yes, Evan.
One thing I hear a lot from people who are scared to call expires is, oh, but I have to learn all the handlers. Here's the trick. There's really 3 answers to almost any objection out there. You're going to learn 3 basic scripted handlers. And I promise you, they're almost all interchangeable.
Yeah. By the way, this is Evan, who I told you you're going to be able to hear lead generate in the office a little bit this week until we get out and turn up back together again. All right, so thank you for being vulnerable. How many of you guys are going to go call some expireds? Good. If you have any hesitation still around calling expireds, Mark is right back there. He's happy to meet with you. Steve is right here. He's happy to meet with you. Call me. I'm happy to meet with you. We're not going to wrap it up yet. We've got 2 more things. but the buyer presentation,
Is gonna be in the training room.
yes, buyer presentation with Tara in 4 minutes is gonna be in the training room. Okay?
And Saturday, I should have said this before, sign up for Saturday morning, 9 to 1 o'clock. Tara and I are gonna be in the training room, and we are gonna be doing a mid-year review for all levels of production. So please sign up so we know how many people we're gonna have.
Good. Ignite has started back up yesterday. So see the calendar for Ignite. The buyer consultation is in just a few minutes right in the other room. And then our office is closed tomorrow. However, if you still need access to the building, it will be available to you. Just use your key fob. And it's in observance of Juneteenth. For those of you who may not know what Juneteenth is, it is a really important holiday in American history. When the last slave was released from Galveston, Texas. It may be a newer holiday here for most states, yet I want you to know that this is something they've been talking about in Texas history for a long time, and it is a really important holiday to remember. So we'll be closed in observance of that tomorrow. A Top Producer Mastermind with Mark is going to be on Thursday the 20th from 11:30 to 12:30. Trevor's got a class from 1 to 2:30 on the 20th. Jen has her class on the 21st from 1 to 2, right Jen? And then, like he talked about for this Saturday the 22nd, be here from 9 to 11, but make sure you sign up. And Marty Carr is going to be here on the 25th talking about deep fraud. And that's all I've got. I appreciate you being here before we wrap up.
Yes. Your agents may not know that is our Broward County property appraiser himself. Will be here, so we really want to pack the house from him.
Marty Carr is the property appraiser for Broward County. Kind of a big deal here in Broward County. I appreciate every single one of you for your vulnerability and your willingness to make calls with us together. Now, go out and do it for real. Let us know what successes you have when you're calling these people, because guess what? They're out there, they want to hear from you, and you can help them because you're better trained than anyone else out there. I appreciate you. Have an amazing day. Give it up for yourselves.